Greetings, dear ones, and thank you for the contact. Thank you for making space. To center yourself in your being, to access information and guidance through the vertical channel that connects the infinite to the finite, the formless into form, and to allow that to be assimilated, digested through your being. Only taking in what feels nutritious and of benefit to the individual and to the whole. What we transmit is more than mere words. Vibration is everything. The space and to be comfortable in that space. And to not feel that you must put words into that space. To allow the purest vibration to come through. We use language merely as a pointer to engage the human mind in a conversation. To practice inclusivity. Because if we only communicated through vibration, there would be parts of the self that would feel excluded from the process. And so out of respect for that inclusivity, these words are here. And on the theme of respect, that was where we left it last time. As we continue to move through the core image of this transmission, which relates to the acronym of Lemuria, the 7 pillars the 7 qualities to be cultivated as one moves from a point of fragmentation and individuation to someone who is living and breathing in relationship with the whole. And there is a process to that transition within the individual self that must take place. It doesn't happen by chance. But through an orchestrated process of growth, stretching and expanding. And as we finished last time with the understanding that to move into respect in your relationships, one must cultivate the heart of non-judgment. To do so, that creates an emptiness, a hollowness that enables one to listen, to be sensitive, to be open, as one moves through the earthly realm. There is a softness in one's footsteps. As one no longer interjects their own egoic self between the subject and the object. And respect emerges as that egoic self leans to one side. Not fully removed from the equation, because that lacks respect too. Just simply leaned to the side, expanding one's view. And as we move beyond the pillar of respect, we come onto the penultimate pillar, which is the pillar of integrity. Respect is a foundation. And as we begin to build our lives upon that foundation, what is created has the integrity of structure. There is a cohesion, a solidity, a strength, consistency. That begins to build across time. And integrity is closely mirrored by the word integration. comes from the same root. To be integrated requires there to be no point of inconsistency. The ripples spread fully across the pond of your being when the stone of respect is tossed into the center. No stone is left unturned. And that process of integrity, becoming more integral, does not happen overnight. One must learn to be patient as one discovers the inconsistencies within one's being. The frustration when one discovers one is not living and breathing from the same page. We have talked before about time and this triangle of the self within the dimension of time, where there's parts of the self at the top of the triangle that require no time at all to move from one plane of existence to another, one point of perception to another, that require no time to grasp being wholehearted and in right relationship with the whole. But then there are those aspects further down that triangle, that pyramid, that seem to require all the time in the world to make that transition and to make that journey. And to be integrated, to be integral, requires that triangle to be fulfilled, for there to be no holes in that triangle. Every aspect of being is included on the ride. And that path of inclusivity can only come on board now, once we have moved out of the realm of judgment. As long as there is judgment, we will continue to practice exclusivity, living from a point of prejudice, separation, isolation. It is the ultimate act of love. It is what it is to live from the heart of God. When one can live and practice full acceptance, full inclusivity, the love of the mother, who cannot isolate, separate her children from her. The bonds are too strong to break. But we say again, this does not happen overnight. And let us be clear, that to achieve full integration of all aspects of being in this land of non-judgment, let us be clear, we're talking beyond the realm of polarity here. We are not talking about laissez-faire, of chaos. Where everything has full permission to run off the leash, to go where it wants, to do what it wants, without direction. That is not what inclusiveness looks like. In a boardroom, everyone has the chance to speak, but not everyone has the chance to act and decide. There has to be a leader at the head of that boardroom that can facilitate and guide all aspects together, to discriminate, and that is delicate. To be that leader requires a lot of skill and maturity and wisdom. a delicate, fine balancing act where all aspects feel heard and validated. But yet there is that direction, and coherence in how that bordering functions. Respect must go two ways. The leader must show respect to all that exists within its realm. But all the other aspects too must respect that they are not the leader. And must respect the value of leadership. Because integrity does not arise when a bordering descends into chaos and everyone is trying to have their say and trying to take control. Integrity is created and built upon when one transcends beyond those polarities. Moves beyond the scale of whether to be hands-off or hands-on in guiding the ship of your being. And one must be patient in that process. In cultivating the leadership skills. That can only help cultivate this solid structure. Because no solidity can be achieved without cultivating leadership. Stepping in and willing to lead your life as a sovereign being. Without that willingness to be a leader, all that has been cultivated to this point will not go any further. integrity arises when one is willing to take full responsibility for one's life. To end the cycles of victimization. And it is the culmination of the effort that has been building through the previous pillars. Through the motivation to understanding, to respect. And now we must build our lives upon that ground through wise and strong leadership. It is not a casual effort to be an integrated being. Loving oneself as God loves is not fluffy, not airy. It is actually very strong, very powerful. We strongly encourage any individual within the whole to take that leap into leadership. As we transition into this new world of heart-centered consciousness. This planet needs that leadership. Needs those who are willing to take that step. Building on the ground of respect. And transforming everything back into a structured point of creation. Wholehearted, dear one. What a journey it is for you to go on here on this earth and at this time. We bow down in respect for your commitment to be that fearless leader on the leading edge. Not waiting for someone to take your hand and to create that structure on your behalf. Until next time, dear one, blessed be.